Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Saturday, October 20th, 2018. Been really busy the last couple days. Want to take a moment to go over some of the news headlines that have been popular out there in the last 48 hours or so. Been a whole lot of news by the numbers, as always. Before I get on with this, let me make sure we're transmitting. I do see people in the chat. Thank you for being here. Looks like we got a small turnout, but then again, it is late Saturday night, so I'm sure people are out and about. Hey, remember to hit that like button. Remember to pick up that book. Nobody's buying the book. It's a tragedy. Anyway, we're going to go over the news headlines, but I just want to start right here. The Oregon Sri Yantra. Somebody brought this to my attention this weekend on my Patreon during Gematria School. They said, can you please look into this story for me? And I think this is a good starting point before we get into the news stories. So the story is that on August 10th, 1990, and I had never heard about this before, even being from Oregon, but the story is the Idaho Air National Guard was flying over this remote territory of Oregon, and in their regular patrol, all of a sudden, this large geometric pattern that took up a massive area appeared. And this is the thing. This is huge. Just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, supposedly this appeared. And this happened on August 10th, a date that can be written 10/8, kind of like 108. Now, it makes me wonder, did this really happen? Is this, we'll get into some theories here in a moment, but I just want to show you what was so interesting about this. So AP did not report this story until September 14th. It happened August 10th. That's the day it happened. AP didn't decide to cover the story until September 14th. Now, what's up with September 14th? Well, that's the day leaving 108 days left in the year. And again, supposedly this happened August 10th, 10/8, like 108. And look at what this is. It's sacred geometry. It's a bunch of geometric patterns, very precise. This is what sacred geometry is right here. Now, what's up with the word geometry in the language of gematria? Again, gematria means geometry in language. And in English, the word geometry has gematria of 108 with the alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order. In case you're new here, this first cipher is just the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26. What this cipher is flipping the alphabetic order around, making Z1 counting back to A is 26. So how perfect. A geometric shape shows up on 10/8 like 108, and then AP decides to cover the story, over a month later on the day leaving 108 days left in the year. And again, in case you're new here, what I've been exposing nonstop since 2013 is how all news is released by this code. No exceptions, period. All news. September 14th, 90, that was also a date with 113 numerology. Remember, that's the number of mainstream deception. Comes from the Talmud, Bava Kama 113a, that says it's okay for somebody who's Jewish to lie to somebody who isn't. The other thing about September 14th is it's the 257th day of the year. That's the 55th prime number. 55 is a very special number. 55 is the 10th triangular number. It's also the 10th Fibonacci number. In Gematria, Fibonacci equals 55. Numerology also equals 55. This thing was known as the Sri Yantra. The Oregon Sri Yantra. That's what they called it. I just want you to see that Sri Yantra. In case you're new here, we have 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, and then the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with the rules of numerology. But I just want you to see how numerology and Sri Yantra overlap in the 4 base ciphers. In terms of this story being released by the numbers, which is a numerological practice. Gematria, which means geometry and language, is Jewish numerology. Who controls your media? Got to know the answer to that one. That's the first question on the quiz. Who controls the media? It's also known as the Oregon Sri Yantra. I just want you to see in the base cipher that sums to 89, like number, like August, the month it supposedly happened in. So very, very interesting. The Oregon Sri Yantra. I'd never heard of it before, but I'll tell you what, in my next book, it's going to be in there because it's another perfect example of news by the numbers, and also further cements what we already know about 108 in geometry. Just in case you're new here, you got to know this about geometry. It's not arbitrary that it sums to 108. Look this up. It's a scientific fact, if there is such a thing. But they say that the diameter of the sun is the diameter of 108 Earths, and from the Earth to the sun is the distance of 108 suns across. So the diameter of the sun times 108 is the distance from Earth to the sun. They also say that from the moon to the Earth is the distance of the diameter of 108 moons. And just look up this number 108. Relates to the Catholic Church, prayer beads, yoga, all sorts of things. Whole lot of 108 in the world. Major league equals 108. There's 108 double stitches on a baseball. Not arbitrary that the Red Sox won 108 games this year and lost 54. Baseball equals 54, 54 outs in a game. Part of how I called the Cubs breaking the 108-year drought in spring training. By the way, I called the Dodgers in the World Series in spring training this year. They haven't won the World Series since '88. Earliest start in MLB history this year on the 88th day of the year. They just advanced to the World Series on the anniversary of the day they won the World Series in '88. I've actually called the World Series from spring training at least one or two teams every year since I've done this now, going back to 2014. Let me know who has a better streak. Pretty sure the answer is nobody. So let's keep going through the news by the numbers. Big story, disappearance of a pregnant 27-year-old Chicago postal worker. When this began as local news, she was actually a 26-year-old, and then it changed to a 27-year-old. This became a national news story October 17th. It was a local news story October 9th. But with regards to it becoming a national news story October 17th, that was a date with 27 numerology. The victim's name is Coles, name that has 27 gematria in the base ciphers. We call that the ritual number. That's why there's that 27 club. The thing about October 17th is it's the day leaving 75 days left in the year. And on this day, the USPS put out a $25,000 reward for her whereabouts. Little numerological. Remember, the federal government does everything by this code. Federal government controls USPS. So it fits the pattern. Supposedly she disappeared October 2nd, 10/2, like 102. That's a number that's been coded over Black history in many negative ways. Notice 10/2/18 was a date with 30 numerology. Slavery has gematria of 102 and 30. The N-word has gematria of 102 and 30. Her name, Kiera Coles, gematria of 181. That's the 42nd prime number. Excuse me, another number coded all over Black history there, 42. If you ever read my book, Letters and Numbers, Chapter 18 is on the race war. Talk about all of these numbers extensively. Some other things stand out about her name. She has the numbers 62 and 46, as well as 73. Those are all numbers of sacrifice in the base cipher. Fateful name, gematria. October 9th, the day that this news first broke locally, 8 days before the national news story, that was the date leaving 83 days left in the year. Don't forget that Murder has that gematria of 83. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. So, haven't seen any update on this story, but everything par for the course. News by the numbers. One moment, Trusick. I need to get a drink of water. Technical glitch in our live broadcast here. All right, I'm back. Luckily, the water wasn't too far away. I'm all better. All righty. So here was another story. Donald Trump's October 2018 jokes about Greg Gianforte's body slammer reporter. And, you know, people were saying this was dangerous for Trump to make jokes about this assault. Understand, all distraction, all news by the numbers, a bunch of crap. This guy probably never body slammed anybody. From the man who he was talking about that supposedly did the body slam, from his birthday to the day of this news, 185 days, Donald John Trump, 185. And I covered this story actually earlier this year when this guy won the election, supposedly after the body slam. His name even syncs up with Donald John Trump, Donald J. Trump. It's all distraction. It's all division. It's all meant to play people against each other. That's the whole point of this research, to see how the news is deceiving us, confusing us, manipulating us, turning us against each other, lying to us, leading us down the path of an agenda. They also like to distract us, you know. How many of you went out and saw Michael Myers this weekend, you know? How many of my followers who aren't on the live stream are out at the theater right now giving the money back to the long noses, watching Michael Myers? Well, let me show you why this movie, just check this out. It's just, like I always say, everything in the world of entertainment done by the code. So on December 20th, 2017, it was announced that Nick Castle would be reprising his role as Michael Myers. Filming began on January 13th, 2018, concluding on February 19th, 2018. The film would be released on October 19th, 2018. Look at the day they released the film. 10/19/2018, a date with 67 numerology. Look at the gematria of Michael Myers, 67. Look at the gematria of Killer, 67. 67 is the 19th prime number. The movie comes out on the 19th, you know, perfect. Notice in our 4-base ciphers, Michael Myers. Michael Myers, 131. Doesn't that remind you of Halloween? 10/31, 1031. Also 59. Let me just pull up the Gematria calculator so you can see this. Serial killer, 59, 193. Look at Michael Myers in those same ciphers, 59, 193. And as a reminder, if you just take the word serial, it's 44. The word kill is also 44. Serial killer being 193, that's the 44th prime number, our big kill number. The number that we see people killed by all the time, at least supposedly in real life, through news media headlines. So understand, again, everything controlled by the tyrants, which includes Hollywood, which includes your nightly news, which includes your sports games, it's all done by the code. John Carpenter, the director of this film, clued you into that in the movie They Live. They Live, which was an analogy for seeing through words and what the real meaning is behind them. This movie also came out on the 40-year anniversary of the first Halloween. Halloween has gematria 40 in the base ciphers. And look, filming began January 13th, which is 13/1, like 131, right? Michael Myers is 131 with the alphabetic order. But from the date filming began to the release of the film was exactly 40 weeks on the nose for the 40-year anniversary of Halloween 40. And in case you're new here, when I first began, I only knew about the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. This always jumped out to me in a big way, that Halloween equaled 41. Because think about the date, 10/31, October 31st. 10 plus 31, 41. So how perfect. In case you're new here, just again to give you a piece of something to work with here with the 4-base ciphers, look at witch and broom. They're the exact same in all 4-base ciphers. Witch and broom, the exact same in all 4. A lot of words that have relationships have perfect overlap in all 4 ciphers, or 2 out of 4, or 3 out of 4, but several times 4 out of 4. Here was another good story. Chaos erupts at the Mexican border amid the caravan. Now, as I've been explaining forever, chaos is coded in the number 19 again and again. This story was from October 19th. In our most pure of the base ciphers, the dark blue cipher, the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, chaos is 19, you see. So we get this story of chaos at the Mexican border. In our most pierced cipher, pay attention to Mexican and Mexico. Mexican 33, Mexico 33. What month are we in? October 33. All news by the numbers. Chaos on the 19th. Contrived distractions. Other people pointed out, I also don't forget this was a date with 67 numerology. 67 is the 19th prime. Other people pointed out that in the Chaldean cipher, Caravan's 19, and in the septenary cipher, these are two related ciphers here, Mexico's 19. So for a little more 19 action, Mexico, Caravan, chaos, all on the 19th. If you haven't read my book, I introduce you to the 4 base ciphers and then teach the complementary ciphers, such as Chaldean and septenary. Here's another story. The Harvey Weinstein case might be unraveling. Well, let's see how they did this one. The whole Harvey Weinstein case has been news by the numbers. First, we got Hurricane Harvey. Then we got, the guy who makes all the Hollywood movies. All of a sudden, he's assaulted every Hollywood actress. His birthday is March 19th, right? He's 66 years old right now. From his birthday to this news story of his case unraveling is 216 days, which is the product of 6 times 6 times 6. 666, the number of the beast. He's 66 years old. Look at our most pure cipher. Number of the beast, 66. That's taught about in Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible. The first printed Bibles were Gutenberg Bibles. Gutenberg Bible 666. By the way, if you use the English extended cipher, which is tribute to Hebrew and Greek, Gutenberg is 666. First printed Bibles, the Gutenberg Bibles. And notice Gutenberg's 45 forwards and backwards in our 2 reduction-based ciphers, just like Holy Bible, 45 forwards and backwards. Holy 4 letters, Bible 5 letters. When you add 1 through 9 together, it equals 45. Holy Bible 9 letters. This is Hermetic knowledge. Every number carries a vibration, the principle of vibration. Hermetic knowledge older than the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible is just older spiritual knowledge reinterpreted. Anyhow, number of the beast, 666. Number of the beast equals 66. If you read that verse about 666 in Revelation, it begins, here is wisdom 66. And the number of the beast is also the number of a man, not the man, number of a man, which also is 66 when you flip the alphabetic order around. So you see how that's working there? 216 days after his birthday. If you've seen that movie Pi, that's the number they chase all movie. That film introduces gematria, introduces Kabbalah, introduces Fibonacci numbers. In light of the whole 666 thing, let's not forget that October is the only month with 666 gematria. And isopsophy is the Greek practice of coding numbers into words. It's the Greeks who wrote Revelation, including Revelation 13:18, about the number of the beast, the number of a man. See how it works, Truth Seeker? News by the numbers. Harvey Weinstein, just another distraction. More mocking. Here's another story on this same day, October 20th, 2018. Here's a story that makes absolutely no sense. Before I decode it, I just want to read you this paragraph. And let's just read this right here and just tell me how any of this makes sense. Not a single word of this makes any sense. So this is about the people who shot this officer. The suspect's 4-door black sedan sped away and crashed about a mile away. There were as many as 4 people inside the car, Smith said. There are no suspects in custody. Can you imagine crashing your car after you shot a police officer to death and supposedly other police officers witnessed and somehow you still got away and nobody caught any of these guys? Chief of Police Butch Ayers said investigators were talking to multiple persons of interest. Ayers didn't say when authorities classified them that way. He added that no warrants had been issued in the case. Smith said the shooting happened so quickly the officers did not have time to draw their guns. Other officers who had responded as backups fired on the car's occupants, but it is unclear whether any were hit or how many shots were fired. Detectives were still processing evidence from the car. I mean, that just makes no sense. You're going to crash, other cops are after you, and you all get away? Impossible, especially at this day and age where there's surveillance everywhere. But let's just go through this. This death comes October 20th, 2018. the 293rd day of the year. That's the 62nd prime number. We just talked about this. That's a number of sacrifice in our base ciphers. Sacrifice. Today's date has 68 numerology. We see this number all the time around death. Caskets go 6 feet deep or 8 feet long. Today's date had a life lesson number of 41. Gwinnett equals 41. He was shot in Gwinnett County. Let me just put it up here. Gwinnett. Killed in Gwinnett County. Date with 14 numerology. Dead and end equal 14. Policeman also equals 43, the 14th prime. Today's date has 30 numerology. Remember, in our base ciphers, our reduction ciphers, police is 33 and 30. This comes in October, the lone 33 month. All of these words in this same dark blue cipher, our most pure cipher, October 33, police 33, masonry 33, secrecy 33, order 33, federal 33. So this shooting happened in Georgia, and the man killed is named Antoine Tony, just like this. Just take a look. Antoine Tony, 44, shooting 44, gunfire 44, Georgia 44. When you use the alphabetic order, kills 44. We talked about this with the Michael Myers thing. K's 11, I's 9, L's 12, L's 12. Added up 44. Gwinnett County, GA has this gematria of 2118, number of death. Gematria is 74, number of Masonic and killing. Gematria of 79, murder 79. Georgia, gematria is 62, like sacrifice. Again, today is the 293rd day of the year, the 62nd prime. The story comes out of Georgia. Shooting has the gematria of 44 and 37 in the same ciphers. Dead from a shooting. His name Antoine, gematria of 73, a sacrifice number. 25 and 20, numbers that connect to death. This man was really killed. He was likely killed by his own police as a sacrifice. We see these kind of suspicious deaths with cops often. Over the years, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, hey, Zach, I know this police officer. They were a good person. Can you look into their death? I look into it. It's just like this. It's the same old numbers. Again and again, the 44 is always popping. By the way, this happened, you see how they say this? Police presence was heavy Saturday evening in neighborhoods a few miles east of Stone Mountain. So then they locked down Stone Mountain for their little drill, their little murder ritual. It's entirely possible that this officer, is just a made-up, contrived thing too for this drill. It's another possibility. But Stone Mountain, that gematria is 72. Today leaves 72 days left in the year. That's how they do it. By the numbers. Here's another big story today. Lioness kills her husband, the father of her 3 cubs, at Indianapolis Zoo. This news comes today, October 20th. The killing was supposedly Monday, October 15th. They waited 5 days to put out the news. When you add 1 through 5 together, it equals 15, by the way. 15 is the 5th triangular number. But 10 plus 20, 30, right? Lioness. The lioness does the killing. Lioness 30. Today's date has the life lesson number of 41. This happened at the Indianapolis Zoo, which is 179. That's the 41st prime number. And again, at gematria.com, it makes it so easy to do this research. Do this stuff enough, you'll have it all memorized like me. But Indianapolis Zoo, 179. You click on the 179, it'll tell you 41st prime. Boom. News by the numbers. So, what else jumps out here? Notice the male that died was 10 years old. Here we are in October, the 10th month on the Gregorian calendar. The attacker was the female Zuri. She killed the father Nyack. By the way, just for the record, Lion has this gematria of 58. Father has this gematria of 58. But October 15th is the day leaving 77 days left in the year. We've seen a lot of symbolism with lions and the Lion of Judah lately. I got to wonder, in light of who controls the news. Judaism 77, Zion is 77. in their propaganda, a lot of this male versus female, divisive rhetoric. We see them programming the youth. The little girls want to be like boys. The boys want to be like girls. Anyway, call it a coincidence. October 15th, 18, date with 43 numerology, the day that the killing supposedly happened. Killing equals 43. And that date, 10/15/1015, it's a lot like 115, Lion of Judah, 115. I just got to wonder. Ziri, the killer, has gematria 74 like killing, 34 like murder, 25 like death. Nyack has this gematria 27 and 81 ritual numbers. Not the first time we've seen a suspicious zoo story. Earlier this year, we showed how the jaguar killing at the New Orleans Zoo was actually synced up with the football season and the Jaguars and the NFL and the Saints, who let it off in the preseason shortly after. So it's possible that this story is connected to the NFL season too. I have to take a deeper look at it, but just looking quickly, knowing it's all news by the numbers, it's not an accident they released the story 5 days later about the lioness. So here was another one. As soon as I saw it, I just knew. I always just know when I look at the news, as soon as I start to decode it, I'm going to figure out what they're doing here. Did you see that Rihanna, there's this story that came out that Rihanna turned down the Super Bowl. She's backing up Colin Kaepernick, the puppet on strings that's been participating in the, rigged NFL national anthem rituals. So check this out. This story broke October 19th, right? October 19th. It's the day it came out that Rihanna had turned down the Super Bowl. Her birthday is February 20th. And from her birthday to the date of the news was 241 days later. Well, I had to laugh because I know what 241 is. That's the 53rd prime number. And again, at Gematria, you can come to here, tools, number properties, type in a number. 241, the 53rd prime. And what's 53? Well, this is the year of Super Bowl 53. Plus, that's just a big number at the NFL period. The shape of the football is the shape of the Vesica Piscis, the most important shape from sacred geometry, which equals 53 in our most pure cipher. That's why the NFL has a 53-man roster, a 53-yard wide field. October 19th, 18 was also a date with 47 numerology. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL, not arbitrarily. It's controlled by Freemasonry. Freemasonry has their logo with the compass set at 47 degrees. That's a tribute to the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation for a structure. Foundation 47. It's not an accident that our nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. It's all numerical ritual, has been for a long time. All of these celebrities, they don't get to choose if they're in the Super Bowl or not. They get put in it. And they said, you want to be a millionaire? You want to be the next one in the obituaries? This is what you're going to do tomorrow. So how about it? Today, October 20th, Dodgers make the World Series. Spring training, I pointed out this was the earliest start in MLB history, starting on the 88th day of the year. Never before had the MLB started this early. Big number with the Dodgers. They hadn't won the World Series since 88. They won it October 20th. What's today? It's October 20th, 2018, 30 years later. Now, I want to remind you something. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing here. Let me readjust this. I want to remind you something about 20. This is something you want to know. The letter T is the 20th letter of the alphabet. And a lowercase t is a lot like a cross. And throughout history, the cross has been used to symbolize time, the 4 seasons. If you write out time in our most pure cipher, it sums to 20, and it begins with the T. If you write out cross, it sums to 20. If you write out seasons, it sums to 20. Big number for time is 20. Here we are on October 20th. The Dodgers are advancing to their 20th World Series ever. Now, Saturn is the keeper of time. Saturn in our most pure cipher equals 21, which is the 6th triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 6, it's 21. The planet Saturn is the 6th from the sun. But remember, in our most pure cipher, there's a rule with S. S can be 1 or 10, because S is the 19th letter. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. It's the only letter you have to add together 2 times. When you make S10, Saturn's 30. Nike, their logo is the swoosh. They're having this big advertising campaign for their 30th year anniversary. The swoosh is a ring of Saturn. Anyway, it's the 30-year anniversary, right? The 30-year anniversary of the Dodgers winning the World Series. They won the 84th World Series. I pointed out that their pitcher tonight, their starting pitcher was pitching 84 days after his birthday. It's all perfect ritual. There's so many amazing synchronicities with this game that happened tonight. Notice that year the Dodgers won the World Series. They won 94 games. There's a riddle there with that, because remember, everything about the world of sports is a perfect script. Notice 94, when I write it out, comes to 147 and 57. These are our 2 most important ciphers here, the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the world's numerology. Look at World Series, 147 and 57. And like I pointed out tonight, Dave Roberts, who used to play for the Red Sox, he could pick up his 22nd postseason win as a manager. 22 is the master builder number in numerology. Master builder, 147 and 57, just like World Series, just like 94. Numbers we talk about again and again, year after year. Dave Roberts gets his 22nd postseason win. Clayton Kershaw, number 22, closes out the game. Just all perfect numerical ritual, which you can witness in the moment by knowing this code. And this is why you want this knowledge. This is why you want this knowledge. You know? We're not calling World Series teams from spring training year after year by coincidence. Every year I've made a prediction for a team from spring training. Every single year I've done this, they've made it. I did predict tonight that I like the score of 1-3, so I was a little bit off on the score. But you know what's funny? With this score, there ended up being 47. Oh, okay, let's remember that today has the life lesson number of 41. I pointed this out. LA equals 41. If you add up the runs scored in the series before tonight, there were 41 total runs scored. You know, the Dodgers got their last win in the 13th inning before tonight off the pitcher number 41 the 13th prime. But what I pointed out was that there were 41 runs scored. I thought there might be 4 more scored in a 3-1 score, like a 13 tribute, and 45 total runs, because when you write out 13, it comes to 45. Also 99. The Dodgers just picked up their 99th win of the season over the Brewers 99, and also 45. That's why I like that score tonight. Major League's also 45. Remember, 45 is the 9th triangular number. Baseball's 9 innings. When you add 1 through 9, it equals 45. But they ended up scoring 6 runs, which means there was 47 runs scored for the series. That comes back to time. Time 47. They advanced to their 20th World Series on the 20th. And we were talking about how Saturn's the keeper of time. The number that symbolizes time is just 88. 88, the number, it's 4 circles, and each circle has 360 degrees. 360 times 4 is 1,440, just like how there's 1,440 minutes in each day. Why they time travel at 88 miles per hour and back to the future. And with regards to the Dodgers winning in 88, California is also 88. So major numerical time ritual here, not by coincidence, and, just mass mockery. LeBron James tonight getting his first game at home with the Lakers. We talked about how he went to the Lakers by the numbers back in July. He joined him on July 1st, 7/1 before the Lakers' 71st season. Now get this. He's going to play his first game in LA exactly 71 days before his birthday. It's the Lakers' 71st season. He signed on 7/1. From the day he signed July 1st to his opening night game tonight's 112 days. Houston's 112. He's playing Houston to start his Lakers career in Tinseltown. Today also has the 48 numerology, James 48 with the alphabetic order. They couldn't have scripted it any better. And if you saw my work, missed my work from July, you better go check it out, because there's a whole lot more to that whole riddle right there. That's just the little stuff. If you guys aren't on my Patreon every Friday night, if you're a $1 member, you can participate. All you got to do is pledge $1 a month to participate in Friday night sports decodes. People asked me to look at this Michigan State game. We had a nice big laugh last night when we noticed this. Harbaugh, the man at Michigan, from his birthday to the big game against Michigan State was 64 days. Michigan 64. I said, well, that looks like a pretty clear read. And sure enough, Michigan on top. I also pointed out that Michigan could become 7-1. It was Harbaugh who just visited the Catholic Pope at the Vatican not long ago. And right after Harbaugh visited the Catholic Pope at the Vatican, what happened was his star tight end at Michigan, he was supposed to be a first-round pick. He fell all the way to the 145th pick overall. Jake Butt, his name's Butt, like, what that Catholic Church, Catholic Church Butt. I don't even need to go on, do I? You got it, right? But his star tight end, and think about tight end Butt. Think about how sick this is. I've been educating you guys for years that these athletes are born and bred to be for these sick rituals. Clinton Dix. All these things they do to us. Anyway, Catholic, Jake Butt, the tight end. You get it, right? Tight end, like, woo, she's got a tight end. But, the Popes, they say that about the little boys. Anyway, he fell to the 145th pick, and he went to the Denver Broncos 171. You see that? Like Catholic. And notice, again, this is how all the base ciphers are important. JFK was the 35th and only Catholic president, dead at age 46. There's 46 books in the Old Testament of Catholic Bibles. You learn the code, you start to see what's up in this world. College to pro, it's all by the script. How many points did Michigan win with? 21? Oh, the old Jesuit number, like how they have the first publicly Jesuit Catholic Pope, Pope Francis. Jesuit 21, Bible 21. The Bible, a lot of tributes to Saturn. That's who El is, the God of the Old Testament. Saturn 21 in that cipher. And I could go on. There's just so much more to talk about with sports, but this made me laugh. If you guys missed, if you guys aren't signed up over here at Gematria Effect Sports, I actually did this call on the live stream. You guys were asking me to do phone calls. So you guys, you got the better of me. I was doing some phone calls. But if you guys missed my phone call to the NFL, come over here to Gematria Effect Sports and take a listen to this phone call. A lot of people think it's really funny. A lot of people are having a good time with this phone call. We let the NFL have it. Here, I'll just play the beginning of this phone call just in case you missed it. I just want you to hear how the receptionist, how she was so eager to connect me to the Hollywood scriptwriter for Monday Night Football. Check this out. Just watch how she answers, just like she knew exactly where to connect me. Here we go.
Here we go. Let's turn up the volume.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling National Football League. How may I help you?
Yes, can I talk to the Hollywood scriptwriter for Monday Night Football, please?
Okay, one moment for me.
Awesome.
You see that? She just connects me right away. You guys got to listen to the rest of the call. It's the best. But I love how she didn't even pause. She knew just right where to put me. But then what cracked me up is right after that, right after the call, all of a sudden this headline emerges on CNN and I just died. Hollywood Brown is college football's most dangerous player. And Hollywood has that Gematria 33, like the Sooners, like who he played for. And, this last Monday Night Football, MNF, the announcer at the end of the game called, "What a Hollywood script." There were 63 combined points. I said before the game, Aaron Rodgers was a definite winner. He was going to get his 63rd home win, do it against his favorite team, the 49ers, on a date with 63 numerology. And lo and behold, the score was 33-30, 63 points. Aaron Rodgers gets the 63rd home win. We've been doing this stuff for years, people, in case you're new here, for years. And it's just too bad that, you see all these shield channels that have millions of subscribers and nothing even remotely worth listening to, just a bunch of crap. Meanwhile, I've been showing, what's going to happen in sports before it happens, what happens in the news before it happens, what happens in elections before it happens. If you guys can't see that this works the real deal, pay attention to my blog, there's about 50 paid-for trolls that just live there all day. In fact, they pretty much banned everyone's comments at my blog except for the trolls. So, you know, this kind of stuff doesn't happen to you unless you're exposing some serious stuff, as I've been doing. So anyway, coming to the chat. Somebody says, I bought your book, but what numbers mean what? Well, read the book. Doesn't sound like you read the book. You might have bought it, but you got to read it, and then you'll have that question answered. The numbers are a language, you know? Playboy X, I want you to think about this. Playboy X thinks it's just hard for them to fathom how they could be breeding athletes perfectly. I don't think it's that hard. Dolly the sheep. Dolly the sheep was announced to the world on February 22nd. February 22nd. Where's it at here? Where's the date that Dolly was announced? Right here. Dolly's existence was announced to the public on February 22nd, 1997. And what is it about that date? What is it about February 22nd? There's 31 days in January plus 22 more in February is the 53rd day of the year. What's the word sheep equal? 53. You know, what's the word man equal when you flip the alphabetic order around? 53. I knew that day. I was just a teenager then. I was 13 years old. I knew that day when that news came out that if they could clone a sheep, they could clone any mammal, including the human being. And most of my teachers, they were too dumb. I was asking all my teachers back then. They were too dumb to have the obvious answer. I wasn't too dumb. I just was like, well, it's just common sense. If they can clone a sheep, then they can clone a human being. It's the exact same thing. There's nothing different about it. There's no difference. If you can make a sheep, you can make any mammal, period. And I have no doubt that they've had ability to do this since before even this was announced to us. You know, they just unveil what they're capable of by a code, and probably long after the fact that they actually do it to us. I'll also come back to this thing where I began. If you missed the beginning of my broadcast, we talked about this news story by the numbers. I wouldn't be surprised if they really did carve this into the desert floor, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did it with some powerful energy weapon, you know? I wouldn't be surprised if all this stuff that's done with, you know, what do they call it? Crop circles and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if all of this stuff is done with energy weapons and sophisticated technology that's hidden from us, and that they just use every now so often to give us these confusing news stories so we don't know what to think. But technology's advanced. You guys got to think of, I mean, how old are most of you? How old's the TV? What year did the TV come out? Don't forget TV equals 42, just like computer, like internet. What year was the TV invented? You got to speak correctly. 1927. I want you guys to think about that. Think about how sophisticated the technologies of the TV is. Pretty mind-blowing. We're coming up on the 100-year mark of the TV. To me, a TV is more impressive than figuring out how to clone a person. All this stuff in our world. What year was the radio invented? Even the radio is amazing. I mean, just think about the radio. 1895. Oh my God. See, we take all this stuff for granted, but I mean, I don't. I realize how crazy it is. It's like, how the hell did they ever figure this out? Who are these people? The Lakers lost, so they stay at 136 wins, which is the 16th triangular number. The Lakers have 16 championships right now. That's like I've been saying. I do not expect the LeBron to win a championship this year. It's all about the Warriors this year. So that makes sense in a way that they stay at 136. That's the 16th triangular. Somebody asked me if I've ever listened to the band Tool. Oh, yeah, I've listened to Tool. I like Tool. They're one of my favorite rock bands, in fact. And yeah, they make their music based on sacred geometry. I've talked about that before. Part of the reason I even figured out this stuff was because of that band. Just listening to them talk about things, I was like, really? Making music based on geometry? Okay, I'm gonna have to look into this. A fight between Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo. I'll look into it later. Everything's a script. Yeah, LeBron and Steph Curry born in the same hospital, and a lot of NBA players born there in Akron, Ohio, including Nate Thurmond, who played for the Warriors and Cavs and who died right after the Warriors and the Cavs both won NBA Finals against each other back-to-back at age 74. Yeah, J.R. Smooth saying what I've been saying. Nate Thurman's the father of LeBron. Marquise says nothing but actors out here. Hayden says, let's do some Premier League decodes. Hey, Hayden, are you signed up for the Patreon? If you just pledge $1 a month, you can be there for the Friday night decode. I was asking people, I said, you guys want to decode some soccer games? Nobody in there wanted to do it. So you got to show up. Austin Wright says his pastor's now teaching this code. Very cool. When you point out to Chris Geo that gematria is the code the Cabal are using, what is his exact response? Chris Geo's a big fan of my channel. You know, a lot of people think Chris Geo's a shill, and I don't think Chris Geo's a shill. I think if Chris Geo's a shill, I definitely wouldn't be on Truth Frequency Radio. I don't know if he's somewhat compromised, but Chris Geo has a lot of pressure to get rid of my show. Chris Geo gets more negativity about my program and more pressure to delete my program than anybody else on there, and he doesn't. And, you know, I've even given him reason to delete my show because he's always said, Zach, you got to stop talking bad about the other hosts or I'm going to have to get rid of you. And I'll say, okay, I won't do it anymore. But then I can't help myself when I start talking bad about him again because I just can't stand half the other shows on there. So, you know, Chris Geo, he stood up for me and he's kept my show on there and he likes my work a lot. So I don't have anything bad to say about Chris Geo. Look at what year we went to the moon, Zach. Well, have you read my book, man? 69, the Cancer, or the moon is ruled by Cancer, which has an astrological symbol of 69. I've done a lot of work on the moon landing. I wish you guys would read my book. All of you out there always asking me to do things that are in my book. Makes me sad. You guys make me just want to retire, honestly. Somebody said Tool is them. Yeah, they could be. Maynard James Keenan's father, I believe, was military, like a lot of these rock stars. But even still, sometimes I like the stuff that they do. Like, I'm sure the movie They Live, I'm sure John Carpenter's in on it. I still like his movie. His movie still reveals stuff. So, yeah, I've done a lot of work on the lottery numbers. Derek just did a recent video on the lottery too by the numbers. Gematria 85. Yeah, the lottery, all these big lotteries, they're always by the numbers. Always. Pretty sure they get actors out there. I know that people can win the smaller pots, like 50,000, 100,000. I've met two people in my life who've both won like around a $50,000 amount. But these mega millions, these billion-dollar pots and stuff, I don't think anybody's really getting these. You know, I think they just put the actors out there by the numbers. We've talked about this before. You guys see Christos in the chat? You see what he wrote? Zach left you a little something on your Patreon for the cause and all your hard work, brother. Dude, Christos, this guy, if everybody was like Christos, we would have a news agency bigger than any news network in the world right now. This guy's donating money every week. He's signed up on the Patreon, everything. He's bought the book. His generosity is just, I appreciate it a lot, Christos. Thank you so much, man. But I wish it was other people besides, you all the time. You've already done so much. I hope you're doing well out there, man. Thank you again. Chuckles just checked back on the video of me calling the NFL. He thought it was hilarious. I'll tell you what, if Drew Brees beats the Ravens this weekend, I'm going to call the NFL again because it is just sick, you guys. It is just sick what they have done with this Drew Brees Ravens ritual. Oh my goodness. If you're on my Patreon, you can find out what it is already, but I am definitely calling the NFL about what they're doing with Drew Brees. It is just ridiculous. Well, the thing about touching FIFA is, in the past when I've done videos exposing FIFA, the videos get struck and deleted right away. YouTube seems to be very protective of FIFA. A lot of people don't know this, but the very first video I ever uploaded to YouTube was exposing a FIFA match, and it got a strike and deleted right away. And I was like, what? I almost decided not to make any more videos, but then I ended up making another, and then I just kept making them. Yeah, I can't watch the NBA. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Here's all you need to know about Q. Q's a psyop for the sheep. But right here, that's all you need to know. 74, boom. Masonic. That's all you need to know. Don't trust anybody out here who's anonymous. And normally my face is on the screen in case you're new here, but when I do these live streams, I figured it seems to work better if my face isn't on here. The camera's always frozen up, so. I was never here. What's up? Oh, it dropped on me again. I hate when the chat goes down. Here we go. Somebody says they can't afford the book. If you can't afford the book, send me an email. I might help you out. Sandy Hook was real. Ask Alex Jones. Alex Jones, yeah, big Zionist agent. Big old shill over there. Have I ever been asked to join a secret society? Well, I had a weird experience back in, I believe it was 2014. Yeah, it was. It was 2014. It's hard to believe it's been more than 4 years since it happened. It seemed magical too. It was so weird. I pulled up at the gas station and this huge white truck pulled in behind me. And I noticed the guy in the white truck, he was just staying in his truck for a while, and I was out pumping my gas, and I noticed on his big white truck he had the Freemason border on the license plates. I don't know how common those are in your state. Here in Washington State, you see it pretty often, actually. It's quite a few people have the Freemason border on their license plate. But he got out of his vehicle, and I noticed he was just looking at me while I was pumping gas, and he wasn't like doing his thing. He wasn't like putting his card in the thing and getting the gas. He was just like looking in my direction. So I looked over at him and I said, and I'd been doing this work, kind of exposing this code and talking about Freemasonry. And I said, I see you got some Masonic plates. I said, how do you like being a Freemason or something like that to him? And he started, I forget what he said, but he's like, are you interested in joining? And I said, well, not really. I did some research on it. He's like, are you sure? We're looking for young people. We think you'd be a good member. And I was like, well, probably not. But he had a pledge form. So he had a pledge form in his truck, and he got it out for me. And he said, here, let me give you a pledge form so you can think about it. He even wrote his number on there. And I said, thank you. And when I left, I noticed he just left too, and he didn't even get any gas. So I was like, was this guy following me around? But yeah, I never joined, and that was the only time I was ever approached about joining the fraternal order. Playboy X says she enjoyed my book. It was mind-blowing. Thank you. Somebody wrote Black Sabbath. Did you see the recent decode I did on Mr. Crowley, the Ozzy Osbourne song? Check it out. Yeah, Marquise, get that book. There's a lot to build on with it. What year will we send the Israelis to the moon? Oh, I'm not going to retire J.R. Smoove. Sometimes I just say things like that. But I do get tired of people always asking me, like, have you done this? Have you done this? It's like, man, have I done that, dude? You must be new here. Caleb Bowens needs help decoding NASCAR. NASCAR is a tougher sport to decode because of how many people are in the field, but all of you guys with Q, it's just like, yeah, I'm familiar with the PSYOP. It's pathetic. I can't believe anyone falls for it. Like, I just can't believe anyone fell for Donald Trump. J.H. Armstrong's got the book. He's loving it. Excellent. Thank you. Oak Ridge Boys. I don't know that one. Well, let's not wait on August 11, 2019. We need to get the word out before that date comes. Got to get ahead of these people. That's the whole point. Somebody wrote, why would we be told to get vaccinated if it caused autism? Well, you have to realize that the people who rule over us, they treat us like we're mice in a maze, and they want us to be sick and have disease and illness so that we need the expensive medical treatments. All part of their giant Ponzi scheme. More than just autism. The brawl in LA. I'm going to have to look this up. Multiple people have now asked. Tavistock Institute. Yeah, that's Crow 777's big talking point. He recently got on Truth Frequency Radio. Somebody said I should do super chat. You have to have your channel monetized to do super chat. But, you know, I got something better than super chat. I got a book. I always see people doing these super chats and making a ton of money. I'm like, man, people are giving people these money left and right, and these like live streams aren't even good. I'm not even getting anything out of this. And I'm thinking, man, these people could be spending money on my book and advancing themselves in the world. I see Shane M's here. I haven't seen this dude in a long time. Hey, Shane M, you should be a moderator. Shane M's been around for a long time. Shane M says that girl he dated, their parents won a lot of money, or grandparents won a lot of money off the lottery. Did they win more than 100,000? I've known somebody that's won in that neighborhood, but never more than that. Who built the pyramids? Well, there's a lot of theories. I don't know. I definitely wasn't around then. Another man who's blacklisted in his community for speaking truth. It's too bad. It's an epidemic. Jonathan wants to know where this Hollywood scriptwriter is. Okay. YouTube takes 40 or 50% from super chat. See, that's crazy. I don't want to support that. All right, let's since everybody's asking about this brawl, let's just do it. I need to close some windows here. If you missed everything we covered, don't worry. When this video's done, it'll upload and you can watch it from the beginning. I went over all the majority of the news stories. Brawl in LA. Let's see. I don't want Las Vegas. So it was Chris Paul and Rondo, huh? All right, let's see how many days it is from their birthday since they're the instigators. May 6th. He's 33. You guys remember when Chris Paul's grandfather was murdered by the numbers at age 61? Grandpa equals 61, and then Chris Paul scored 61. That happened the same day he signed with Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons. They blamed it on a random group of thugs. Okay, so it's 167 days after his birthday, or a span of 168 days. How about Rondo? Rondo, born on the 53rd day of the year. Los Angeles is 53. He just signed with the Lakers, I believe. I believe this is his first year at the Lakers. Oops. I need let's see how many days it is from his birthday. February 22nd to today is, look at that. I love it. I love it, man. So Rondo's at the center of the LA brawl, right? His birthday is February 22nd, which is the 53rd day of the year. Let me just show you this. Los Angeles in our base ciphers is 53. Now, we talked about this earlier. This is the same number we talked about with the Rihanna ritual and her turning down Super Bowl 53. That news came 241 days from her birthday. 241 is the 53rd prime number. So 241, the 53rd prime. Los Angeles 53. Rondo's born on the 53rd day of the year. He's at the center of the LA brawl. Rondo's known as being a punk. Let's see what else. What's the word brawl equal? Brawl. What is up with that? Oh. What day was Chris Paul's birthday? Chris Paul's birthday. Look at Chris Paul. Look up the word brawl, 56, and look at Chris Paul's birthday, 5/6. So here's our dudes that are involved in the brawl. I know Chris Paul's name equals 44, like Rockets. Rajon Rondo's 56, like Brawl 2. Isn't that nice? You see, you guys, I mean, this is how it is when you know the code. Chris Paul's 44. James Harden's 44. Rockets is 44. But that's what it is right there. That's the ritual. It's the LA Brawl. It's synced up with Rondo. It's got the players with the numbers. And just so you guys know, if you follow my work, like if you follow my blog, I'll put out like 15 blog posts in a day because this is all the time it takes. All I would do is take screenshots and post them in my blog and hit submit, and we'd be done already. It doesn't take that long to go through these stories and see how they're all coded when you know the code. So, yeah, I've looked into the death of Enos Cosby. His death's in my book, J.H. Armstrong. J.H. Armstrong, where's my phone at? Where's my phone at? I don't know where it is. I was going to go turn the volume on my phone so I could hear when you go buy the book. I need that cha-ching sound. You know, people asking me questions about things covered in the book in great detail. Have I ever heard about the death of Bill Cosby's son? Yeah, and I covered the death of his daughter too, who was also just murdered by the code. I know about the rumor with Paul McCartney. He supposedly died during the longest hiatus of no Beatles albums. And then when he came back, all of a sudden he was a taller man. I'm sure there's even more to the Los Angeles Brawl. How I just noticed that it was 168 days from Chris Paul's birthday. There's probably some ritual here going on also with the World Series that's about to happen because Rondo used to play on the Celtics. Massachusetts is 168, and the World Series is about to be LA and Boston. So Rondo, he's most remembered for playing for the Celtics. The thing's 168 days from Chris Paul's birthday. The entire world of sports is a perfect script. For months, I've been talking about the possibility of the Red Sox being in the World Series and how it would be synced up with the Super Bowl to conclude the 99th NFL season. The Dodgers just got their 99th win of the season, advancing over the Brewers 99. So there's just there's so many little riddles in play. Is Michelle Obama really a man? I don't know. You know, I don't accuse anybody of being a tranny. None of it would surprise me, but I do not know. Unless I've seen inside the underwear, I just don't know. And I don't want to see inside the underwear. Why do they always show black and white checkerboards? Because that's all Masonic lodges have the checkerboard floor because it's symbolic. You know, the world is chess. The world is a giant chessboard to these people. They're making moves every day by the numbers, calculated moves. Chess is mathematics. Okay, JH, you got the book. All right, my bad. Thank you for picking up the book. Since it's an electronic document, you could type in his name right now, and it'll skip right to there if you want to read about it. Should we do it? Should we do it? Here, we'll do it for you, JH. I'll show you how to skip to the book. I'm trying to think of what Cosby's son's name is. Oh, Enos with a double N. There it is. Here, I'll pull it up real quick. We'll take a little moment to read about the death of Enos Cosby. So, the nice thing about it being electronic is you can search. Here we go. Enos Cosby, April 8th, 1973 to February 23rd, 2018. February 23rd has that gematria of 107, like ritual sacrifice. On February 23rd, 2018, at age 44, 44 days before her 45th birthday. Oh, this is Enos Cosby. This is his daughter. You wanted to do his son. What's his son's name? I can't think right now. His daughter just got it by the numbers too. That's what that was in the book. Okay, hold on. I am tripping here. Oh, that was Enza Cosby. So similar name. Enza Cosby got it by the numbers. I guess I just tied that part in here with the death of Enza Cosby. As for the passing of Enos Cosby at 27 years of age, since we didn't cover it earlier, he died on a date with numerology of 114. And Cosby Show has reverse ordinal gematria of 114. His murder was blamed on an 18-year-old Mikhail Markasev, a name summing to 271 in reverse ordinal, the 58th prime number. Here, let's just read this from the beginning with the daughter and then get to this, because it all builds up. So let's go with Enza Cosby, which just happened at the beginning of this year. I released this book in March, and I covered a lot of news stories up right to the release date because I was even editing in things at the end. So let's just start here with the death of his daughter. On February 23rd, 2018, at age 44, 44 days before her 45th birthday, or a span of 45 days, which is the ritual number, Enza Cosby would become the second child of Bill Cosby's to die, the first being Enos Cosby, summing to 44 in reduction, who was murdered at age 27 in the year 97. So the problem with like reading this, if you haven't read the chapter, is I've already established what a lot of these numbers mean. Kill equals 44, ritual equals 27, death equals 97. For another reminder, African American sums to 44 using septenary cipher, the number connecting to the words kill and execution, as well as many other murders in history. Consider the date of her passing. February 23rd was right for ritual sacrifice as shown above, and was also a date expressed as 2/23 or 23/2. In the case of 2/23, much like 223, it corresponds with the ordinal gematria of the Synagogue of Satan and the Jewish gematria Masonic. As for 23/2, it is like 232 connecting to Satan using Jewish gematria. One more time, it is the Synagogue of Satan and Freemasonry that control the industry of entertainment, from sitcoms to movies to music to sports and beyond. Speaking of Freemasonry, her death came 139 days after Bill Cosby's 81st birthday, July 12, 2018. Freemasonry sums to 139. It also came 226 days after his 80th birthday, or on his 227th day of being his age. Ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry 227. Consider the news wasn't broken until February 26th, or 2/26. As you learned prior, the word planet has Jewish gematria 226, and when you write out 226, it sums to 93 in reduction, the number connecting to Saturn, the planet that is the keeper of time, having to do with death and judgment. Further, Saturn has reverse reduction gematria of 42, like Cosby Show and Huxtable, and the news of his daughter's passing came a span of 42 days before her birthday, with the story breaking in February. February sums to 42. Another fascinating point is that Enza Cosby's death came 32 weeks and 2 days after Bill's birthday, not unlike 322, the reflection of 223. As for the passing of Enos Cosby at 27 years of age, since we didn't cover it earlier, he died on a date with numerology of 114. And Cosby Show has reverse ordinal gematria of 114. His murder was blamed on 18-year-old Mikhail Markasev, a name summing to 271 in reverse ordinal, the 58th prime number. That's a big Freemasonry number, which we've covered a million times once you get to this point in the book. Further, the initials MM, or 1313, break down to 44. In the case of 13, consider he was killed in LA, the city initials summing to 13 in ordinal, 12 plus 1 equals 13. He was also killed on the 34th parallel and 118th meridian west. Murder equals 34, death 118. And most importantly, Bill Cosby was just 59 years old at the time, the number representing Negro and kill. Last, it should be noted that his death came 177 days before Bill Cosby's 60th birthday, July 12, 1997, and the name Enos William Cosby sums to 177 in LCH Kabbalah. For another 177, New World Order equates in reverse ordinal. So, this chapter has hundreds of deaths. I mean, this chapter is just major overkill, literally, on murder by numbers. And you can always use the search to skip around in the book for certain things you're looking to. My phone's on silent right now, and I don't even think it's in the same room as me, so we're not going to hear any cha-chings. But hopefully people are picking it up. We got to get that number way up. I don't even think we sold 10 books today. Look at this. Days ago, I showed you guys we weren't to 4,000, right? We were like 50 away days ago. I might have to lower the price of the book again because I got to be honest, sales are way down since I raised it up to $9.99. But look at the reviews, you guys. The reviews are beautiful. But here, I want to show you how many sales we're at. Oh, we did. We eclipsed 4,000. Okay, we did it. But that's not very good. I mean, it was days ago that we were 50 away. When I was getting good YouTube views before they censored me, I was selling well over 50 books a day. And now what? It took like 4 or 5 days to cover those 50 sales. So we just got there. We must have sold a couple at least during the broadcast. So I don't have the chings on, so I can't keep track. But hey, we're at 4,001. We need to get to 10,000. So all the British bands were into Crowley. So there's all sort of, I mean, people know, it's no secret that there's all sorts of occult knowledge tucked into rock music. And Aleister Crowley's like the biggest occultist of UK history. So Brandon Tatum, I remember that name. I got to look that up. Christo says, do not lower the price. Well, the thing is, people aren't buying it at $9.99. It was selling better at $5. So I don't know. And I've gotten a lot of email. I think I've gotten more emails this week about people who can't afford it at $9.99. Somebody talking about the spray in the sky looking creepy today. I know. It amazes me how most people cannot see what they're doing in the skies. It's just like, I don't know what to say about these people. They can't see what's right before their eyes. Craig asked, how many books have I sold? But now he's seen the number. We're at 4,001. You know what I decided I'm going to do, you guys? I'm probably going to have to wait until football season's over because a lot of people are following me on Patreon for football information, and it takes a long time to do all the decoding that I do for football. But once football season's over, I'll have way more time. And I think I'm going to punch out a bunch of smaller books just on specialized topics, and I'm going to make them really inexpensive. And hopefully we can even get them printed. But just certain topics that are people into, try to keep the books around like 50 pages, just bang, 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 lots of really good information. 50-page book or less, very inexpensive. Try to get people on topics that they're into just to introduce them. So some bearded guy in Detroit says make it 7-Eleven. That's impressive. You read the book in 4 days, man. That's a lot of reading. You are a speed reader. I couldn't read it in 4 days. I'll tell you that much. Somebody said Playboy says they're gonna advertise the book all around New York. I appreciate it. Well, if you make the sales jump, I'm gonna have to hire you as the promoter. Again, we want to create the Gematria News Network, so we're gonna need people with those kind of skills. The book's only for sale on Etsy right now. I've been trying to keep it off Amazon. Maybe I'll put it on eBay. I don't really have any problem with them, but you can buy it with PayPal. If you have PayPal, you can get it. The combo dinner at Applebee's. Gino X says he's reaching out to High Impact Vlogs. He says they have the right type of people for this work. Well, I appreciate that. I'll have to check out that High Impact Vlogs. How about breaking the book in sections? Well, I could do that, but you know, I had the whole thing as a $5 package for over half a year. I mean, it was like the ultimate value deal of a lifetime, and not many people wanted it, so. I'm not sure what order the 7 deadly sins are in. Where's all the smart hot chicks at? Christo sent another donation. You just can't stop this guy, Mr. Generosity. Bitcoin, US dollar. I've been talking a lot about the market. The same people who control the Federal Reserve, I have no doubt, control Bitcoin. All right, you guys, it's almost 11 o'clock here, and for almost the entire day, I've been staring at a computer screen. So I should let my eyes chill out for a little bit. Thank you again, Christos. Appreciate all your generosity. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to listen. Hey, before I go, let's just take a look at the book sales again. Let's see if anybody else got a book. Let's see if we're above 4,001. I guess not. That's all right. Maybe tomorrow when I wake up, we'll have another sale. So. Yeah, we did. We looked at that Dallas Mavericks game last night. I forget. We looked at some games last night in the community decode. I can't even remember what we came up with. I didn't write any of it down. But you guys, Patreon, $1 a month. If you hardly have any money, for $1 a month on Patreon, you can participate in every Friday night decode live, and the last Tuesday of every month, you can participate in Gematria School. That's another awesome deal I have out there. $1 gets you a lot of content on my Patreon page. So if you want the book and everything on the Patreon, it's $11 a month. But $1 gets you everything. So, or not everything, but it gets you a lot. Patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. It's linked in the description of the video. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button before you leave. Don't forget to hit that like button. Somebody said buy some digital marketing. I might have to. I might have to. All right, you guys, you have a great rest of your night. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what kind of news day it is. It could be a slow cycle on a Sunday with football. They know they got the mind's eye of the masses watching football games, but definitely be back Monday. They always keep us busy on Monday. All right, Christos, appreciate the positivity and the generosity, man. Thanks for buying the book twice. Don't forget to hit that like button. All right, good night, all. Be back tomorrow. Till next time.